What's the connection between tryst and trust? Just how deep do those connections run? Hey everyone, Cullen Smith. Welcome back to Lifting the Veil. Today I want to tell you an interesting and go through a very synchronistic story regarding etymology, language, and what we like to sort of tongue-in-cheek joke around as word magic or word spells or spelling regarding some interesting factoids and synchronicities of etymology and language. If you notice on a QWERTY keyboard, you notice there is a unique coincidence, I guess you could call it, or what I like to call a sync that happens often when I'm typing the word trust, either on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, what have you, I often make the typo and end up misspelling the word trust. And due to the U key and the Y key are directly next to each other, or directly adjacent. So I end up accidentally hitting the Y instead of the U. And so I end up accidentally typing tryst instead of trust. And there's a very deep, interesting etymological and symbolic and linguistic connection behind that synchronicity of the connection. There's a literal etymological connection between tryst and trust. So every time I've constantly been misspelling trust as tryst online, and there's a deeply significant meaning for why that is because the etymology of tryst comes from the word trust, comes from the root of the same root meaning of trust. So I want to start off the story, and if that topic sounds interesting to you, here on the channel, I cover lots of that sort of content: mythology, etymology, symbolism, all sorts of very interesting topics. So go ahead and smash the like button if that sounds cool to you. Hit the subscribe button, share this video with some of your friends if you find that content interesting. We cover a lot of material on the same lines. So a tryst is an appointment to meet someone at a certain time or place. From Old French triste, waiting place, an appointed station in hunting. Probably from Scandinavian source of Old Norse tresta, to trust or to make firm. So the word tryst literally comes from the meaning of to trust. From Old Norse tresta, from Proto-Germanic trewas, having or characterized by good faith, another word trust. From Proto-Indo-European drewo, suffix form of deru, which is the root word, same root word as true, of the drew, of the deru, meaning to be firm, solid, or steadfast, which was the root etymological meaning of truth, meaning solid, firm, steadfast, unwavering, unchanging. I have a full etymological video series regarding that as well on my channel, called The Etymology of Truth, or The Pillars of Truth. So it's very interesting, and it goes so much more deeper into that. So check that out if that sounds interesting. And they're referring again to, these are the very origins. These are druidic origins. These are Proto-Indo-European Germanic. These are Vedic, Proto-Indo-European Germanic root words regarding, again, the druids. Deru is literally the same root word as druid, or the deru meaning true, the druid meaning the one who knows the oak, the one who knows the forest, the wise one, the wizard of the forest. We covered this all in that Pillars of Truth video on my channel, so I will link that in the description down below. You can also click it up here in the corner, and you can check out more on the symbolism of that. It goes very much deeper. But again, the origins of firm, solid, steadfast. So again, it was a trusted meeting place, and the druids, their trusted meeting place was in the sacred grove. It was in the forest.
This is a safe place. It's a place where we can feel free sharing our feelings. Think of my office as a nest in a tree of trust and understanding. We can say anything here.
Anything. I found myself wondering what color her underpants might be. I started feeling What? I thought we were in the trust tree in the nest. Are we not?
And that's where you go. The tryst comes from the trust of the sacred forest, the sacred grove, your sacred secret meeting place, Bohemian Grove, the Illuminati, the elite elders of El, the Illuminati, the wizard, the druidic order, the grand wizardry, the grand masters. They meet in the sacred grove. It is a tryst. It is a pact of trust. But so anyways, so a tryst is built on the foundation of trust. You can't have a tryst unless you first have trust underlying that tryst. In other words, you have to trust the person to meet you at that appointed place and time. And you also have to have trust and faith in them that that relationship is going to be upheld and they're not going to betray you. So it is, the word tryst is built on the root meaning, the etymological meaning, the etymon, or the true sense of the word is built on the foundation of trust. And it goes even deeper into that because the interchangeability of U and the letters U and the letter Y is deeply linguistically significant. And off the top of my head, I just intuitively get the sense that the letters U, Y, and V, as well as W, are all intrinsically interconnected, not just because of their symbolic depiction, are literally almost exactly the same ideogram. They are almost exactly the same symbol or image. But it goes deeper into why that is because the actual origins of the letter U comes from the Semitic letter Vav, which is where we get the letter V. But it was actually pronounced Wow. Sense of this becomes in the Germanic languages as well, this is the reason why, why Germans pronounce, for example, the word Volks. We Americans will pronounce it Volkswagen, whereas Germanic language they pronounce it Volkswagen. So the V and the W enunciation is inverted. The W is pronounced as a V and the V is pronounced as a W because of this type of declension or evolution of the letter, evolution of the alphabet, which is why they say Volkswagen and we say Volkswagen. So the modern letters F, U, W, and Y all come from the Semitic Vav, or Wow, as U-A-U, Wow. The letter W comes from Greek upsilon. The Hebrew letter Vav became the Greek letter upsilon, also shaped as the Y. The Latin form of this letter dropped the stem, changing the shape to a V, but keeping the sound oo as in our modern U. Within the last 700 years, this letter-shaped V with the sound of oo developed into our modern U as well as double U. The letter U ultimately comes from Phoenician letter Vav or Wow by way of the letter Y. See the letter Y for details. During the late Middle Ages, two forms of V developed, which were both used for its ancestor U and the modern V. The pointed form of the V was written at the beginning of the word, while a rounded form of U was used in the middle or the end, regardless of their sound. If you're familiar with my books, my articles, my writings on my Patreon articles, my Subscribe Star articles, that eventually that will become my full published books and all of that, specifically referring to my article, The Phoenix Consciousness Rising from the Esoteric Ashes of Purification, that's a pun, or it's a play on words, a play on the word magic that I utilize as to why I spell and I explain in extreme detail in that full book presentation. Eventually a upcoming film presentation as well, as to why it's the Y and the U are interchangeable, such as I use the word purification as a play on words of purification, because the word purification, P-U-R-E, pure, comes from the root word of pyre, of pyre is a fire. It's a funeral pyre. It is the flame. It is the fire, which is the very elemental essence of purification. Because the element of fire is what purifies. Hence why we say baptized by fire, baptized through fire. Because you go through the fire and the flames in order to become purified. Your alchemical essence of a substance is distilled and purified, which is why most traditional religious or mystical cultures, such as in Hindu cultures, which is why you burn your dead on a funeral pyre, because it is transmuting the earthly element, the element of earth, the carbon body, into a more rarefied or a more spiritually pure form through fire, into spirit. And this is where we get the very essence of sacrifice, of animal, or what is known etymologically as Holocaust, not from ancient Greek holocauston, meaning wholly burnt, meaning a thing wholly as in fully, as in burned whole. It literally means burned whole, which is a burnt offering to God, coming from ancient Hebrew and ancient Greek as well. A holocauston, meaning a burnt sacrifice, a burnt offering, which was, again, a pyre of fire, because the fire is what purifies and purges. Again, purge and pure. Purge and pure, the same root word of P-U-R or P-Y-R. Pure, 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 pure. They're the same etymological essence, same root word, same meaning. It is the sacrificial offering to spirit, to the gods. The offering of the carbon body to sacrifice to a higher elemental consciousness of ascension, a higher elemental nature, a higher spiritual form. You sacrifice your body to become spirit, which means breath, which is air. Air is breath. Air is oxygen. Oxygen feeds the fire. Oxygen fuels the fire of the phoenix. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but we'll leave it there. From the element of earth gets purified through fire into air or spirit, the fifth element, which is the very same elemental cycle in nature, which is why the element of fire purifies the earth. When a wildfire is what renews and regenerates and replenishes the nutrients into the soil, and it enriches and it renews the cycle of life to regrow and regenerate the life cycle through the purification and through the death and rebirth process. Oh boy, so it's like 5 a.m. at this point and I'm getting exhausted. But okay, so the elemental cycle of purification is earth element purifies water. For example, we filter water through a carbon filter. Or in other words, water trickles down through the bedrock layer and the calcium carbonate and the limestone rock filters or purifies the water into the aquifer and replenishes the aquifer. So earth filters water. Water purifies air because when it rains, the water purifies it. It filters out a lot of the toxins and a lot of the pollutants in the air. So water is what purifies the air element. Again, fire is what purifies earth element. And that is the perpetual elemental life cycle. That is the perpetual cycle of purification and rebirth and transformation of the elements, which is what allows a fully functioning ecosystem to create life, which is why it's the whole essence of the Phoenix consciousness reborn. And I covered this so much more in depth in the full book presentation, and will be upcoming videos and films as well. So I can't go deep into that here. This is just a brief overview. But so that's why the phoenix rises from its own ashes of purification, is because we go through cycles of death and rebirth and purification and renewal and regeneration, just like all cycles of nature go. So there's this interesting word magic, mystical, etymological, linguistic, symbolic, religious, mystical, synchromysticism. It's how all disciplines are interconnected and deeply interwoven. And through this random synchronicity, I'm showing you how this happens. These revelations just spring up in my own mind, and how they become these presentations in real time is because it all starts with just a simple typo on social media where I misspell trust and end up typing Tryst instead of trust. But the deep esoteric truth behind it, again, is all the foundations and the origins are all there in the words. It's all there in the language. I create what I speak. Abracadabra, avracadabra, or avracadaver. So it's this deep evolution of language and symbolic meanings, the true sense of how everything is connected. So it's just very mystical and it's very magical, and I love studying and I love learning all of these things. And it's just how when we follow this path of intuition, a deep intuition that arises through these synchronicities, through the synchromysticism, the deeper I go into the sync and I dive in, S-Y-N-C, not S-I-N-K. The deeper I dive into the synchronicity, the deeper the well goes, the deeper the well becomes, and the more springs up from that wellspring of truth. And so that's just that's how it goes. So I believe that's about it. That's all I wanted to cover for this brief short video, just some mystical etymological connections. And if you want more of this interesting content, I've got literally full 4-hour, 6-hour, tons of hours of full video film presentations covering so much more mind-blowing etymology, symbolism, linguistics, mythology, all sorts of amazing biology, anatomy, earth sciences, all sorts of cool stuff like that. So if that sounds interesting to you, smash the like button if you like this video, and share it around with some of your friends, your family, anyone who might find the linguistic synchronicities interesting, and hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for a lot more interesting content, and check out my old videos and full video playlists in the description down below, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I would like to introduce you all to my brand new published book, The Hive Mind Invasion of Civilization, a compendium of esoteric science, symbolism, and universal secrets. If you'd like to purchase this book, you can head over to my brand new website that I've set up. It's still very bare bones. There's a lot of work I need to do on the site, but for now it's got the basic things that I need on there until I upload all of my content. You can sign up for the newsletter to receive email updates on all of my posts as I begin to populate the site with all of my archives of articles, books, videos, and films and courses and all of that good stuff. So you'll get notifications as I begin to populate the website with all of my content on it. So that's a good reason to sign up right now, even though there's no content on it yet. But you can pick up my books there. I've got my Hive Mind book. I've also got a couple other titles that I've released which are just study aids. They are journals such as Divine Manifestations, a dream journal to log your dream and awakening experiences, and to highlight any insights or intuitions that may come to you along your process of growth and exploration of all of this content. I've got a food journal to log your nutritional progress and to log your health and fitness progress as well. And I've got a 50 Days of Gratitude journal as well, and I will be releasing several more titles as well to help expand and explore your own creativity and things of that nature. So these make great gifts for any friends, beloved family, any loved ones. So these are great gifts that you can pick up and also support Lifting the Veil and the work that I do in the process. So feel free and head on over to my brand new website, liftingtheveil.tv. And I will see all of you there. All right, have a great day. Thank you. My name is Cullen Smith. This is Lifting the Veil. You can find all of my full books, presentations, videos, films, articles, posts at subscribestar.com/liftingtheveil. Patreon has suspended this work and my account and income stream for this content. So if you are a supporting patron, then please, I ask you to move your support over to subscribestar.com/liftingtheveil. And I have just established a completely free, uncensored, totally free speech social media platform that replaces Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, every other platform all in one on liftingtheveil.locals.com. You can download the Locals app and you can join our group and have totally free speech and totally uncensored, unrestricted content access. And there is also a ton of exclusive content, and I will leave the cited reference links in the description down below. So you can check that out for all of my full content, and I will see you guys in the next video. I rely solely on word of mouth, and the recommended algorithms are not recommending any of my videos or films anymore. My channel has literally been completely restricted, so I rely on your help by sharing my work around if you appreciate it, and leave me your comments. I definitely want to know what you have to share and what you have to think about all of this stuff, and I will see you in the next video.